Hi everyone, I'm very happy to be here. Today together we're gonna explore the connection between fertility and creativity. And I'm very happy to be talking about this subject because I feel it's very important for women to look at fertility and creativity in a different way. So this is what we're going to do today together. I'm here with you as a Wellbeing and Fertility Therapist. My name is Anne-Marie, and for the past 5 years, I've been working with women going through well-being, health, and fertility challenges with different eyes as to the ones that you've seen before. My work revolves around hypnotherapy mainly. So I'm a rapid transformational therapist, clinical and systemic hypnotherapist. I'm sorry if from time to time I look at my notes, but I want to make sure I'm sharing everything I've prepared for you today. I understand that everything that I will share will be of value. So what I want to leave you with is a clearer notion that when we talk about fertility, it extends far beyond the conception and growing of a baby. So I want us to look at it in a whole different eyes. We want to look at creativity and fertility as a very similar energy within the woman body. So fertility is usually linked to having a baby, but we want to look at it as a way of creating life and bringing anything into existence. So I have divided my talk in 3 main parts. So the first part, we will look at the concepts of fertility and creativity. Then I will talk about insights from my experience with clients. I will tell you what I've been able to see in the women I've been working with, so you can also look at yourself and be able to see if there are things that you see are similar. And in the third part, we will look at what you can do, what you can have a look at in your life. Okay, and after we see that talk together, I will take you through an exercise that will allow you to start unblocking these energies within you. So it will be like a meditation, systemic hypnosis. It's a quick one, but it will really be like looking at yourself inwards and looking at those energies and start expanding. So first of all, when we talk about fertility and creativity and looking at these two concepts, we need to look at fertility beyond the conception of a baby. It's the force of creation itself. So when we look at generating new ideas, nurturing desires, developing new projects, fertility symbolizes the ability to bring something new and valuable to the world. It's like an innate power that women have within themselves to cultivate and manifest their dreams. And it can have many forms. So we can all, with the same energy, create in various different ways. When now we look at creativity, we understand that creativity is what fuels our imagination. It's that force that gives us the inspiration, the flow of ideas, and the drive to make things happen. It's the way we express ourselves in our own unique way, again, and it can be generating something new, solving challenges in new forms, and it can be also what we usually link creativity with, which is art, music, literature, and other unique forms of expression. And what we see is that creativity flourishes when we are open to new things, to new possibilities. So looking at those two concepts and creating that link, we understand that in essence, it's the same force. It's all about creating something new. Whether we talk about growing and birthing a baby into life, or about creating and manifesting something that we really desire. So it's all about bringing something new and valuable into the world again. And both flourish, happen, manifest when we ourselves are open to receive. Okay? So when we talk about a baby, we receive that baby. When we talk about inspiration, having a new idea to create a project, a business, whatever, we also receive that inspiration. So it's all about being in that feminine energy in a receiving way. I'm receiving those things. So in essence, we're talking about the same exact thing. Now moving on to the experience I've been seeing with my clients. And I'm gonna create a quick disclaimer now. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a hormonal therapist. My work revolves around the mind. I help women that are apparently healthy, apparently fit, apparently have no health issues, apparently have no fertility issues, understand why things are not happening the way they want it to happen in their lives. Whether it's around their mental well-being or having a baby in that case. So my work revolves around understanding with them the deep roots, the deep origins of why their lives are as they are right now. So from my experience with these women, there's a first thing that I want to talk about, which I find very important, which is something that myself, I had to understand how it was impacting in me. And I see that it impacts basically every woman I get to know, which is the progesterone levels. So the hormone progesterone and its ability to create life in all forms. When we talk about progesterone, that hormone that we all have as women, it comes from the Latin progestare, which means literally hormone that supports gestation. It's an hormone that we all know as vital for getting and staying pregnant. But the thing is that its importance goes far beyond reproduction, because it also helps women stabilize mood and supports overall well-being in a feminine sense. It creates space for creativity and inspiration. So again, it creates space for us to receive. And when we look at fertility and creativity and progesterone, and what I've seen is that many women have very low levels of progesterone, the overall link with that is that just as progesterone prepares the womb for new life, it also prepares our minds for new ideas. So it connects our physical ability to create life with our mental and emotional capacity to generate and nurture ideas, new concepts, and new desires. So what's important here is if you feel that those things are not really working well, one thing that I would urge you to do is go check your hormone levels, progesterone hormone levels with a specialist in that case. Because when we feel like things are not moving on, whether fertility-wise or in our life as a whole, most of the times we see that reflect in our progesterone levels. So this is a connection that I've been seeing happening many times. Now, there's also something that's really important, which is the role of desires in fertility and creativity. Again, talking about the experience of my clients. With the women that I've been able to work, I've been able to help women experiencing unexplained infertility, which means that there's no clear explanation as to why they are not becoming pregnant or holding the pregnancy. And what I've been able to observe is that most of the times these women go through fertility challenges, but all at the same time, they face great creative challenges simultaneously. So just as examples, they're unhappy with their work. They are on leave, but they're unsure of what are the next steps. They have lost their purpose. They don't know what they like or what they dislike anymore. It's like they don't know who they are. They are looking for answers as to who they are. And usually they have stopped all creative activities that maybe they had done when they were teenagers or young adults. So no dancing, no painting, no singing, no writing, little music. It's like all creative things have disappeared at the same time that they were starting to go through those fertility challenges. It's like they lost sight of the joys in their lives, focusing on only one thing. I like to use images in my work. So Maida was talking about the tree just before, and I usually use that as well. But it's like I see them in a roundabout, and they go around, and this roundabout has so many options, but they don't know which one to choose. So it's like they go around and around and around, and they lose that experience of joy in their life. It's like everything has faded away with that only one desire they are spending all of their time thinking about and looking at. So when we go back to the notion that fertility and creativity correspond to the same energy, the same inner force, and the same hormone, which is progesterone, then it starts making more sense. And maybe we start to understand what's happening within us. Because as women, we are made for multiple desires. We're made to desire many things. And we are made to desire them all at the same time. When we look at that, there's a notion I want to bring, which is desire and need. Because it's crucial to distinguish between those two. And taking just an example of two sentences, if I say, I need this, I need a baby, I need that job, I need that thing, then it evokes fear in me. It evokes stress, and it comes from lack. When I change that and I say, I desire a baby, or I desire to create this in my life, or I desire to change jobs, or whatever, it already opens. You feel like, wow, the energy is completely different, whether I use one word or the other. And the thing is, we're made to move from desire to desire as women. And this we're made to do without guilt. So it's like, what I see in these women is they feel that because they want a baby. And we can extend that because I want that thing that's so important for me. Then I need to focus my mind, my body, my thoughts, everything that I do on that thing. And the rest fades away. But the thing is, as I do that, I lose completely all of the creative force within me that may help me get exactly where I want to go. And that thing that happens is that when we leave all of this turmoil with guilt and focusing on only one thing, the body starts to talk. It starts to give signals if we don't want to hear it. And it starts to literally scream for attention. And there comes many things that you've heard today. So I'm just gonna list a few, but it's very linked to all of the feminine health issues that you've heard talk about today. So now, as a whole, I want to take you through 3 things that you could have a look at, okay? Creation in women happen in the womb. So this is the place in our body that creates life in all forms. Anything that we create, even if we have the impression that it's created here, we birth into life through our womb. This is our superpower, if I can say it like that. So it's the place of creation, maturation, and bringing forth life. And when all of these energies get stuck, this is usually where the health issues happen as well. So first of all, let's look at the impact of ignoring the superpower that we have. When we lose sight of our ability to create life in all forms, we stop the flow of energy in this part of our body. And I was saying just before, the body will start to speak, with a small voice. It will send different signals, and finally it will start to scream louder and louder. And it can manifest as many feminine challenges that you've heard today, and one will be period issues that most of them have been through, polyps, fibroids, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, and then get to fertility challenges, and anything around that, and explaining fertility and all other thoughts of fertility challenges that we see arise more and more and more and more these years. So these are all ways that your body have found, because your body is wise and your body will have a different way of talking than your friend, than other women around you. So it's like the body has found for you that best way to speak to you, that you have to stop time, to look at yourself, to look at your desires, to look at who's the priority in your life, and many other things. But it's a message. And we have two ways to look at it. And it's not easy what I'm going to say, but I feel I need to say it, even if I haven't even written it in my notes. But there's two ways for you to look at it. I can look at it as something that's happening to me and feel I'm a victim of this and feel that I can't do anything about it. Or I can turn the coin on the other side and look at it as, okay, my body is sending me a message. It's sending me a signal. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to try to understand. And now I'm going to give you 3 things you can have a look at and see if there's one that resonates more with you. So what I would encourage you to do, if there's something that resonates with you, is stop time and start looking at yourself. And then find the therapy, the therapist, the thing that makes sense to you, to start looking at yourself with different eyes. Because there's something here that needs to be understood. And of course, we're so lucky to have doctors. We're so lucky to have medication. We're so lucky to have all of this. But maybe there's something behind that we need to look at and understand about ourselves. So in terms of what I would orient you to do, the first thing is to understand if you're putting yourself first. Because what I see happening with 99% of the women I see is that everyone else goes before them. When you've put on this planet to take care of one person only, and it's you. You're not here to take care of your parents. You shouldn't do that. You're not here to take care of your friends. Okay, if you have children, you have that need to take care of themselves until they are able to take care of themselves on their own. But you will understand that you're just here to direct them. The only person that you're really here to take care of as a priority is yourself. And anyway, we can't take care of our kids, of our partners, of anyone if we don't take care of ourselves first. It's like you will only be able to go up to the point that you manage to go for your own self. So that's the first thing. And that's an important one. The second one, most of the women I work with have to look at their relationship with their own mother. And even if we say, oh, but my relationship with my mother is really good, there's no problem, I don't recall having anything with my mom. The thing is, our first experience of the creation of life was in the womb of our mothers, as very little babies. So there's a direct connection with our mother. And most of the time, there is something to do around that. When we talk about female health issues, fertility challenges, there is something to be looked at with our mothers. And it can be as a child, in our own childhood, or today as a woman. How do I look at my mother? How do I consider my mother as a mother? And in fertility, we can see many things arise as, for example, I don't want to be the mother my mother was, and things like that that can happen. So it's very important that we look at the relationship with our mother if we want to challenge and change the dynamic of fertility and creativity in our life as adult women. And the third step is making space for creativity into our lives. So as we were talking just before, both come from the same energy. So if I think, okay, let's say I want to create something, and it's very clear in my mind what I want to create or what I desire, or it's clear to me that I want a baby, but it's very difficult for me to focus on that, or it's bringing me stress. It's not easy to go towards that. Then maybe I can use some other things that are creative as well and bring those that are easier for me into my life and start moving that energy with something easier for me. So let's say I have, just to take a few examples, I have clients that wanted to get pregnant and had stopped completely all creative activity in their lives, but they loved painting. So they started painting class again and it started to move. Or you can, let's go dancing with a few friends, or gardening, or singing classes, whatever you feel is easier for you to integrate in your life today. And maybe just for a minute, for an instant, for a few days, forget about that thing that I've been obsessing on over the past few weeks, months, and years. If I look at it as the exact same energy, then I can use something else to help me with what I want. So the important thing is to create room, whatever feels right for you, and make space for that new thing, for that baby, for what you desire. So I hope these three simple, because I try to make them simple and accessible exercises, will help you start to move that energy in your life. If this resonated with you, whatever you're going through, I'm sure that can help you. So I hope with this talk, you were able to see how this is like a unique, broad energy that go through us as women. And that the only intention is for us, whatever we're going through, to look at it as, if I stop that flow within me, then my body will react. If my body is already reacting, then maybe I just need to get that flow moving again. Whatever option, step I feel easier in my life, I can take now. I hope you liked it and that it was valuable for you. It's true that if you, let's say you focus on something, but it looks like it doesn't come out, you can look at whatever other things look like it's simpler for you to focus on and bring that creativity again. Sometimes when we focus on something and we don't stop focusing on it, then everything fades away and we think that we still need to focus on that and do that and move that project onwards, etc. But it doesn't move. And if I just stop time and focus on something else, that's easier for me. And as you were saying, it may be just playing with kids. It may be, drawing or whatever for some time. Then I'm bringing that cool energy again that will help me take this and move forward. What I've seen is the direct link with these women. And explaining fertility, lack of creativity, low progesterone. So what I've been able to see is that you can check in your body and understand the things, because progesterone will be your fuel to create a baby, to hold the pregnancy, and to feel like, oh, things are moving, I'm receiving inspiration, I'm creating things, I'm doing things, so what I see is the direct link between those three. So I would say that you can check in your body and understand why things are not happening. So I see this link, this direct link between those three. What I understand that can bring that, talking about these three things, I would say it's stopping the flow. So focusing on only one thing so much that you lose sight of everything, even of yourself. I see women that want to have a baby, but they give all of the energy towards work, doing. That masculine energy is so high that they're not thinking about what they would want. They don't even know. They're just doing. They're just making things happen. They're just waking up and there's no inspiration. There's no, oh, what would I like to do today? Oh, let's go to nature. Or let's take care of myself. No, it's like everything is written down and it's the doing energy. And when we look at that in terms of fertility, let's say there's a baby up there looking down on earth and they want a mother, but they don't see if it's a male or female. They see masculine energy. So there's no space for the baby to come. We need to create that space within us for that energy to come. There's need to be a balance between the energies within us. But a baby needs a mother in the sense that they need that feminine calling them. And if we are only or mainly in our masculine energy, there is no space for that to happen. And you can bring it to other things, as you were saying. It can be something we really want to make happen. If I'm only on the doing on that, and I don't have space to receive what I so much want, there's no space. We need to create that space. When we want something new, when we desire something new, we're gonna get to the distinction between I need and I desire, right? And the need will be more in that masculine energy.